Infotainment Talk Radio, a podcast about vehicles. You love vehicles. We love vehicles. Let's talk. Infotainment Talk Radio with your hosts, Doug and Joel. Infotainment Talk Radio. There it is. Infotainment Talk Radio. Welcome back to it. I am Joel, sitting in the room with Doug and our Master Ford Tech over here. Jesse joins us on this edition of Infotainment Talk Radio. Doug, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing awesome. Jess, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Welcome. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you in town.
Yeah, they shot me out of a cannon to Florida.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't want to fly, so they just stuffed me in the
That sounds more
cannon.
difficult than flying for some reason. I don't know why you would choose that option. Anyway.
It's more exciting.
Fortuitous you are here with us. This is our Sync 4 edition, Ford Sync 4, an impending release for the updated infotainment system for the Ford Motor Company's vehicles. And we're going to dive into a lot of information here in probably a little bit of time. I think, it's important that we talk about the passion we have for vehicles over here. We love all kinds of vehicles, and we do have a vested interest in people's upgrades. Infotainment.com. Want to make sure that you get the right solution for your vehicle. So go to Infotainment.com, chat live, or call, give them your year, make, and model, and they will pair you up with the very best option for your vehicle. Anyway. On this edition, Ford has had Sync 1, 2, 3, and now here comes Sync 4. Right? Impending, what is it, this year, next year, 2021?
Yep, the all-new Mustang, the Mach-E.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
It's going to be the first one.
Yeah, the F-150 will have a version of it as well. And
okay.
I believe the Escape also will have the 2021 Escape.
Okay.
And I'm sure there will be some refinements to it as time goes on, so the very first versions of it are going to be more similar to Sync 3 than actually be like a full-blown Sync 4.
So people that have Sync 3 eventually will be able to get up to Sync 4. I think they have to have a 19 or higher. It'll work. It'll work. Well, I guess I'll shut up, but we'll get into the articles here that we got queued up. First one, I think Doug's got the main details from the main Ford page, right?
Yeah, this is from Ford.com and kind of breaks it in, talking about Sync 4. In this fast-paced world, it's important to have tech that can keep up with a powerful processor and adaptive capabilities. And available Sync 4 certainly does, bringing new levels of intelligence to your Ford. And you won't miss a second of it with a variety of new screen options from the 8-inch to the monumental 15.5-inch. So it's going to be an exciting thing.
Wow.
Get what you need hands-free. Surround yourself in convenience with all new cloud-based connectivity, combining conversational voice recognition with the power of the internet, and the available Sync 4 makes it easy to get the most out of your day. I think that's a pretty cool thing there. The system can automatically learn your preferences and make helpful suggestions as you travel. It'll have available cloud-connected navigation, natural voice control, which will be neat as well, over-the-air updates, so on and so forth. So it's going to look really nice and operate very nice.
Now, is this, you said cloud-connected navigation. That sounds like it's the buy factory maps that you got to buy potentially. Would you?
Yeah, I believe they're going to a more online-based solution.
It's like dynamically updated.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they're going to more.
That's
so.
Smart.
Tesla kind of set that as the standard, and I think a lot of people realize how popular that is. So I think a lot of the manufacturers are seeing that and understanding that's what people want.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you think about map upgrades, and they still cost money even if you're buying a CD disc or something. It's still like $160.
Yeah, and Ford actually, it's funny because on 2018s and 19s, they actually gave a couple updates for free on the maps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you had Nav Factory, they did, yes.
Oh, they would just be like, here you go.
Yeah,
like we're moving away from this anyway.
The 118 and 119, which is what's out currently, are available to 2018 and up for free $99.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Well, I know we do have an expert in the room, which is awesome to have. So, Jesse, excited to hear some of your input on that. But before that, we found another article online, cjponyparts.com, and they do a great comparison there of what are the differences between Sync 3 and Sync 4. So they're looking at the main difference of what Sync 3 includes: navigation, enhanced voice recognition, premium audio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Amazon Alexa, Ford Connect, Wi-Fi hotspots. And in what's in 4, which is just what some of Doug covered, and I'll throw in the wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, 8 or 12 or 15.5-inch touchscreen with Sync 4, cloud-based navigation. That's awesome. We talked about that. And, you can also do, you could do the bigger screens and the wireless CarPlay, which over-the-air updates as well.
Yeah, the wireless CarPlay is what a lot of people want. They just want that convenience of getting in the vehicle and not having to worry about plugging in, and they just want that automatic. Yeah. People just want to get in their car.
Makes sense.
Go.
It should be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the reasons, though, is it's a tremendous amount of data transferred. So they just you have to have Wi-Fi because the CarPlay and Android Auto actually works over Wi-Fi, not the Bluetooth. It uses Bluetooth as well, but the majority of the data transfers through Wi-Fi. So not every vehicle has Wi-Fi built into it. It's kind of why it's not as widespread as what it will be in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we did a vehicle-to-vehicle episode where we talked a little bit about, that major tool of Wi-Fi in a vehicle, and it definitely is the future. So now when people, ask, and Jesse, if you want to take this one, can you upgrade Sync 3 to Sync 4?
Well, that's definitely the I guess the $1 million question.
Yeah.
I was not hesitant at all about going from iFord Touch to Sync 3, just for the simple fact it's basically was pretty much clear it's doable. This is going to be obviously something we're going to have to explore once we can actually see it. The likelihood is possibly, most likely, but they will have an 8-inch footprint, which is obviously what's most common in the vehicles now.
Yeah.
But we have to just look at what the architecture of it's going to be. Is there going to be any wiring that has to be done? So it's hard to say for sure. But
it may take a couple extra little components or boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's really going to be relying on a internet connection as well, it looks like. So that's something else that might have to be looked at in terms of how functional is it without an internet connection. So will you really get the full benefit of the system without some kind of Wi-Fi in the vehicle? And if it's not the Ford Pass, does a hotspot work for that? So those are the questions that still have to be answered. But it's going to be a nice system. It's an evolution more than a reinvention, honestly, because Sync 4, skin-wise, looks a lot like the latest Sync 3.4. So,
so the look is probably going to be relatively similar.
Yeah, but that'll evolve. Yeah, it'll evolve, I'm sure. Again, this is early in the days of the Sync 4, but they're just trying to play the game that's being played right now. Ram came out with a 12-inch, so we've got to come out with ours.
Hey, wait for what we got coming. And, right. That's a good, I guess, natural segue to what Ford vehicles will have Sync 4.
Yeah, I think, what they made pretty clear is, the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is set to release later this year in 2020. That's going to be kind of the first one they roll it out on. And then, as you know, the new F-150 is right around the corner. You have the Bronco around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
As Jesse mentioned, the Escape. So you'll start seeing this, maybe not right away. Sometimes it staggers a little bit depending on which assembly plants are using what and what they're using for the vehicles. But, this is the next wave for the Ford vehicles, the Sync 4. And the other thing that's kind of interesting is, the screens are as small as 8 inches, but then they go to a 12 and they also go to a 15.5.
That's crazy.
So for so long here at Infotainment, it's always been, let's go from a 4-inch to an 8-inch,
right.
And I think it's going to evolve and let's go from an 8 to a 12, or let's go from an 8 to a 15.5. And that's all stuff we're going to look into as well.
And that's very cool. And Infotainment.com has a product request page right under the forms section. You can always go there and fill out something. If there's something that you want that we don't have there, that they don't have there, just fill it out online. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to put one in.
What are you putting in?
A projector. 100-inch projection screen.
You want to you want to have the ability to project from your car?
Yeah, of course. Man.
What? From your truck?
No, I want my screen to be 100 inches.
Oh, my gosh. Well, they almost have them like that, like the whole dash in the Mercedes and the different vehicles.
It's going that way.
It is. Yeah,
big,
Teslas.
Man. Tesla started it. But it's nice. I mean, everybody today is that's where it's at.
And we kind of covered a little bit of this next one. What's new to Sync 4? I think people are used to having their phone plugged in. So that wireless, like we talked about, is a huge deal. Also, there's a layer of machine learning capabilities, adaptive dash cards, enhanced navigation features, digital owner's manual, and a few more things coming. I had this video, and I think I'm able to play it for you now, but this talks a little bit about the cluster, and we'll go back and cover some of these articles. But the cluster is going to get an update as well with Sync 4, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're more information. They're just, they're going digital basically across the board anymore, especially in the higher trim trucks.
It's comforting, but it's almost scary. As we know how expensive stuff is, and one little thing goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, at the same time, I think that's just, the world's just moved that direction. I think we're also used to this screen world where there's no analog anything anymore, and so it's what people want. The customizability, you can go in and set your cluster up how you want it.
I want my grandkids on there.
Well, yeah, I don't know necessarily.
No, we can't get that.
Yeah, I don't know that will be the case, but definitely you will have the ability, because a lot of people may want the tach here and the speedometer here, or they don't even want to move things around.
You just want to see the numbers in the corner or something.
Right. Yeah. And even in Ford's doing that now with the Mustang on the track selection on the digital cluster for the Mustang. That the predominant thing on that is the tachometer.
What do they do with that Mach-E? It looks different than most Mustangs. Like, it looks more. It's like. Isn't it like a rounder?
Yeah, it's more of like an SUV
almost
style.
A Subaru kind of looking. I don't know what they did to it. It doesn't look like the traditional Mustang. Maybe that's just the one picture I saw.
Well, it's not a replacement Mustang. It's just an alternate version.
Oh, it's like a new variant.
Yeah, I don't know why they feel like because it's an electric car, it's got to look that way, though. Like, what is that like the playbook in Georgia? Like in Detroit, they just say, we got an electric car, we got to make it look like this.
I want a George Jetson in every car, little cut-out George Jetson.
Like, what is the deal? Tesla made a beautiful sedan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like some...
Right.
And then Ford's like, I know, I'm going to make a new Mustang. It's got to look like an electric Chevy Volt.
I mean, it looks kind of cool. Maybe from the angle I saw, it just looked a little... I don't know.
Yeah.
It just looked a little off.
I mean, it's cool.
I like the classic Mustang look, but that's just me. Anyway, all right, so I got this video up here, 2021 Ford F-150 digital cluster and Sync 4 screen. So we'll listen to what this guy has to say.
On the all-new 2021 Ford F-150, an available new 12-inch digital gauge cluster features a large information-on-demand area, along with truck-specific graphics and animations that respond to the all-new Ford F-150 selectable drive modes and can display off-roading data and turn-by-turn navigation. Also, all-new Sync 4 is standard, helping keep owners connected and make their days more productive with more natural voice control available, as well as real-time mapping and customizable information on demand. The technology builds on more than 10 years of Sync innovation by helping minimize distractions with hands-free voice control, as well as core features such as making phone calls and selecting music. With twice the computing power of previous generation system, new Sync 4 can wirelessly connect smartphones without the USB cord for seamless integration of Apple CarPlay or Android Auto compatibility, as well as Sync Apple Link apps like Waze and Ford Plus Alexa.
Awesome. There you go. Giving you a little bit of an overview of what is to come. In studio with Doug, Jesse, and I am Joel. Infotainment Talk Radio is what you're listening to. Before I go to this list, I got this cars list here. Let's run over to a quick commercial break. Hold on. Driving in a vehicle without a working radio can be a painful experience. That long commute is now a miserable trip. At Infotainment.com, we merge nav repair services, and now you can repair, replace as an easy-to-select and purchase product on our website. So now, shorten the time you have to drive without a factory radio in your vehicle. Repair, replace your factory radio with nav repair services at Infotainment.com. Ford, GM, Chevy, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram, plug and play, factory radio repair, replace, or upgrade. Infotainment.com, your one-stop shop for factory radio solutions. Infotainment Talk Radio. So we are talking about Sync 4, and that is the entire episode. We have Master Tech Jesse in the studio here with us, and he definitely knows the most about these systems out of all of us. Are you going to run right out and buy a brand new Mustang or F-150 to test this out?
Yeah, I might just steal one.
Yeah.
Unless you got some really good credit, those things get up in price.
It's 2021.
Yeah.
Right?
It's going to be exciting.
So does that mean they're changing stuff again?
I mean, there's constantly evolution. That's just, right now with the way technology is, they're constantly trying to update and innovate and improve and make things more convenient, allow the driver to have more information with less interaction. So that's where all the voice recognition comes from. They're trying to go with more of a natural voice versus, the old school type voice interactions they had where you had to, to get a address in. Just to enter an address on sync right now, it's like it's the most annoying process. You sync. Oh, okay, I need to go to a destination. Okay, this line, and it goes on and on.
It asks you the zip almost.
It's just this. You'll be able to, in a natural way, say, hey Ford, I need to go to here, and it'll understand you in a more fluent way versus having to drill down the way they drill down now, because the capabilities of voice recognition are limited in the current.
Yeah. And to your exact point, that's what the Cars.com article that I have up here, 6 things you should know about Ford's next generation Sync 4, and that bullet point number 1 is it'll rival your smartphone for connectivity.
Yeah, and that's, again, they're becoming more internet connected and based because it's hard to store so much information internally. Things change so rapidly. Places open, places close. Hours change. Locations change.
For sure.
And so the ability to keep those things up to date it has to be internet based.
Yeah.
That's why so many people rely on Google and Apple for maps over, even if they have a brand new 2021 whatever car with navigation, because those maps are going to be way more up to date than anything that's internal to that system at that time.
Yeah.
Because most of the time those things are a year or two behind. Easily.
Yeah, as soon as they can't get them out soon enough.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that Jesse brought up, too, as far as, the points of interest. A lot of times their phone number will change, or their hours, or, whatever the case may be.
Like even during this COVID deal is, we're not open at breakfast anymore.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So I feel like, using your smartphone, through Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it's always up to date, which is great.
And they're trying to rival the smartphone interaction by just having those capabilities already in the system.
Yeah.
So
they want that data.
Well, yes, that's what we talked about last time. This is more of a data game than it is really anything else. The more information they have about you, the more they can really create products that fit what they see as a trend in your usage, in where you go, how you use. And so that's what they're after is just that data, so they can I guess they're saying improve the product.
Well, and it
I
says too that Ford App Link, which I haven't used that before. I don't know if that's just new or specific.
No.
I know there was the Ford Pass.
Well,
Ford
there's
Pass.
a few different ones. Ford Pass is where you can start your car from your phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not every vehicle. Ford doesn't have. I think they started to make it standard on some 19s in some trim models, but they have the built-in hotspot. If it has the modem built in, then it does have that ability to start the vehicle from the key or from your phone, remotely. And believe it or not, that is something we were looking at. Also making an add-on as well as that ability, which would work towards putting Sync 4 in as well, so that internet base is
it kind of opens you up to a lot of different capabilities that you can do through your phone.
Yeah, it's the problem. I understand a lot of people's because you have to have another subscription to a data service and this and that. But you got to understand, as much as you're in your vehicle, it's almost a second home. People travel in their vehicles, and these days, like with what's happening, you are going to drive more than you're likely to fly, so you're going to want to have those conveniences of home in your vehicle. So that's why a lot of these things. That's why a lot of these things are going this way. Ford just they did a good job with Sync 3. They evolved it with Sync 3 later in 19 and 20, and now they're taking that next step of evolution, and they're just going to continue to do that.
Yeah. And I think this Cars.com article goes on to kind of validate what Jesse was just saying there. Number one, this is the number third point. It says it's going to look largely the same.
Yes. Yeah, that was my point. I think people are expecting this huge transition and this huge... it's not really going to... They kind of with 3. I'm talking in version of number of software. 3.4 version software for Sync 3, which shipped on 2020s, was the first time that they really kind of redid the graphic interface on Sync 3. That is more similar to what Sync 4 will be than the previous 3.0 version of Sync 3.
Yeah, so from 16 to 18, you had one specific style or interface on your Sync 3 display. In 2019, 2020, or 2020, you start seeing that change mainly a bit. And, something else I wanted to throw in as well, when it comes to Sync 4, you will see similarities between the late model Sync 3s to the Sync 4 as far as how it looks. It won't be as big of a transition as it was from My Ford Touch Sync 2 to Sync 3, where, in Sync 2 they had the 4 quadrants and things were a little bit jumbled. And, so
it was like the first episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah. Exactly. So, it's going to be nice. I think there's a lot, as Jesse said, it's evolving into something better and faster and bigger. I mean, that's kind of the way the trend is now.
And that's this Cars article 4, 5, and 6. I'll go on and just finish that out so you can get to the next one, Doug. But you were saying this, it will learn where you go and what you like.
Yeah, well, see, but that's kind of a feature of, if you have your iPhone and you ever pay attention, if you have your iPhone paired Bluetooth, it'll kind of ask you, are you going here? I go to UPS every day, so every time I get in my car at 4 o'clock and my phone pairs, it says, do you want to go to UPS? And it knows which UPS I go to. That's kind of where they're going with these things. Predictive type navigation. Yeah. And plus, they benefit from that information.
Well, and they give you, too, 20 minutes to work, going their normal way.
They use it as well to help you be more...
I just don't want my wife to get access to it. Then that'll be, you forgot to pick up my laundry or whatever. But the owner's manual will be in there now, as we've talked about. So that would be funny to actually get tech support. No, do you have the car on, sir? Is it plugged in? Yeah. Anyway, owner's manual is going to be within the infotainment system. That's pretty badass. And your car will be upgradable wirelessly without your involvement, as some are now.
Yeah, that's kind of what they said about Sync 3, but
they did, didn't they?
It never came.
You still got to press a button.
Yeah,
auto update.
Some updates come through wireless.
Yeah, my phone will auto update overnight. It'll tell you, hey, we're going to install.
It'll be true on Sync 4. They'll over there. That's where they want to get. they have to. You don't want to have people making service visits for an update. It's just ridiculous. So, yes, over-the-air will be for sure.
Not sustainable to do it that way. All right, cool. So we're moving through this content pretty quick. Infotainment.com, again, that's the website you can go check out. Primary sponsor of Infotainment Talk Radio. Let's cut away. We'll come back and finish these up. Hold on. In 1665, following an outbreak of the bubonic plague in England, Cambridge University closed its doors, forcing Isaac Newton to return home to Woolsthorpe Manor. While sitting in the garden there one day, he saw an apple fall from a tree, providing him with the inspiration to eventually formulate the laws of universal gravitation. Got some extra time on your hands? Discover your vehicle's potential. Do the research. Ask the experts. Infotainment.com is over a decade old and specializes in plug-and-play factory radio upgrades, touchscreen factory navigation radios, or retrofit kits to add more current safety features like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all while keeping the car or truck you already love. It's Infotainment.com. Discover your vehicle's potential.
All right, we're back talking about Sync 4,
Awesome.
Ford Sync 4. One more thing that I wanted to kind of brush up on is an article from caranddriver.com talking about the Sync 4 and the wireless connectivity.
Yeah.
And, we had brushed on this a few times already, but, right before we went to the commercial break, Joel had talked about his phone updating overnight. I think that's going to be an awesome thing for the new Sync 4, being able to update itself. And, there's always bugs, right? So if you had a phone right now that you bought in 2015, it would be completely outdated. The apps would be outdated. Everything would be outdated. So the satisfaction with your phone, it being a 2015 phone, you would say this thing is garbage. But since it updates itself all the time, it stays relevant, it stays fast, and, it fixes its own bugs. So I think that's what's going to be great about Sync 4 is it'll update itself, and it'll always, they'll be able to fix the bugs overnight, and then when you get back in the car, it's like, oh, it's not doing that anymore, So I think that's going to be a great thing about it, and that's what it talks about in this Car and Driver article here.
And to put a equally fine point on it, the machine learning capabilities is the cool part that, they call it artificial intelligence for like software applications and whatnot. But in this application, they're talking other machine learning capabilities, right? Mm-hmm. So those are like driver presets, your vehicle, right, will have, driver 1, driver 2.
Yep.
Well, and it's going to more kind of like the sources you use, maybe the Sirius channels you refer to a lot. It's going to use some of those things to kind of get a feel for what you listen to, what functions you use. I think there will probably be some rearranging of icons. If you tend to go to climate icon a lot, it might make that as a more easily accessible icon versus some of the others. So it's kind of just adjusting to how you drive the vehicle. Cars do that now, funny enough, but they just don't. Like when you buy a new car, the transmission shift points and things adjust to how you drive that vehicle. If you drive it softly and lazily, it drives softly. And if you drive it hard, it drives hard. These types of things have always existed. They're just getting more into the infotainment and electronics
on the inside of the cabin instead of the inside of the engine. And
right, they've always tried to adapt vehicles to you and your habits, and it's just now it's expanding into the electronics as well, which is nice. Everybody wants to feel like when they get in their vehicle, and we do it in our homes. We set it up how we want. We set up our house how it's comfortable for us, and then we get in our car, we want the same thing.
And it could be embarrassing at some point if you want me to play that thrash metal and your boss is you're giving your boss a right of blaring Metallica in his face or something.
No, that'd be pretty cool. I like Metallica.
It could get out of hand though. But you're right. They're becoming more and more a part of our daily existence with comfortability.
Yeah. I mean, you might have a contact you access frequently. who knows exactly what all they'll branch out into and how much exactly can be really convenient to you. But they're trying to find that out through, and that's why again, with the updates, those things can come to as time goes on as well. If they improve upon something or they see a trend of something's getting done quite a bit, they might change the way that operates and make it more of a focus point. But overall, I'm excited to see how Sync 4 is going to look and feel and operate. Excited to see more of the technical aspects of it, of just how it is installed and everything.
There'll probably be some pretty life-changing type of interactions going on. I mean, at least for Ford owners. Tesla is kind of an upper echelon type of brand.
Yeah.
Maybe Ford is a little bit more everyday person type of thing. So, I'm sure there's serious applications where, you can benefit from the more current technology, giving you added time, helping you save, money on gasoline or whatever it is. Sometimes, and I'll tell you this, sometimes you can be in such a frenzy, and because you're all hurried and moving, you're making bad decisions, you know? So to have the pure data right there guiding your sound decisions, I think we'll see more and more, people, have a love affair with their car.
Yeah.
Yeah, people want to have technology. Yeah. It's just that boils down to it. With the Sync 3 stuff, that was purely driven by the fact that people want to have technology, which is CarPlay or Android Auto. That was the single biggest motivating factor for those upgrades. And with Sync 4, we can't say specifically what those motivations will be, but I'm sure there will be many.
Call your wife. I sent her roses.
Yes.
And it'll help your marriage, too, potentially.
That's right.
Anyway, that Car and Driver article looks like it closes out with, I can't believe they're asking. They put that in. How far off is Sync 5?
Yeah.
They already want Sync 5. So it's interesting to see. And, Jesse, do you think they're going to butt it right up next to each other? You're going to go 4 to 5 like the Windows did, 8 to 9 or whatever?
I can't imagine. That doesn't benefit.
They're going to let it ride out for a number of years.
It doesn't benefit anyone to constantly change. What sense does that make? It's a car is not a cell phone. You have a yearly release of an iPhone, but your vehicle and the technology, it's different. People that buy a $50,000 vehicle or a $100,000 limited F-150 don't want to feel like they bought a vehicle in 2020 and in 2021 they got the new system in that one, and then 2022 they try and not do that because they want to have brand loyalty. Brand loyalty is not created by constantly changing things that don't have just to change. People want to feel like they didn't get, I guess, screwed by buying the early vehicle and not waiting. Sometimes technology has to change. Sometimes in first-year vehicles, there's a reason to change something, but it's rarely related to the infotainment system. And anything that would change probably would be addressed through software that would be available to the previous buyer.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Well, if you think about what we go back to my Ford Touch Sync 2, you're talking 2011 to 2016, so a pretty far time period, and then Sync 3, 16 to 21. And then we're talking 21 to 26 maybe?
Yeah, another 5-year run, something that.
And then they'll probably change again. And that's the same with General Motors. It's the same with FCA. They'll typically run those platforms for 5-6 years.
And really, what can they change? They're going to hit a wall at some
There's only
point.
so much they can do. Well, in a recap of this episode, I really think that the dynamically updated navigation maps, that's something that they probably the last few years have been like, man, we're just getting, kicked in the gut with these phones and people's demand.
Yeah, but you have to pair with somebody on something like that. People don't understand. Google and Apple have tons and tons of infrastructure developed
already for that. Yeah,
they have people that all they do is drive in cars with cameras.
Yeah,
just driving. That's all they do. And you're talking about how do you as a Ford Motor Company tap into that kind of, and they don't have that infrastructure because they're not a
You got to buy
a technology company.
Buy Waze or something, right?
Well, I mean, that's a Google brand. So do you license it from Waze? Do you license it from Google? That's what I'm not sure of how Ford's accomplishing this. So, and I'm still not 100% sure that the navigation itself is 100% cloud-based. I believe it's more the traffic information.
Oh, that makes sense.
But it could be the nav, but I'm not 100% sure. Nobody is.
It'll be interesting to see as it all rolls out.
Yep.
We'll do an update as soon as it comes out. I mean, this is more like I don't want to say guessing. It's not. It's farther out in the future. Yeah. It's looking into it and kind of educated guessing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if anyone would know, it's definitely you. Jesse, it's awesome to have you down here in studio and hanging out.
Yeah, I got shot out of a cannon.
Are you going to go back the same way?
The hurricane's going to shoot me back.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
The hurricane's going to throw
That's a free
back.
trip then. That's great.
Yeah, it's round trip.
Wow.
Well, that's why we timed it
Well,
this
be
way.
safe, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I'll ride that hurricane.
Yeah. All right. Well, on behalf of Infotainment Talk Radio, I am Joel, Doug, and Jesse. We thank you guys for joining us. Let us know if you have any questions. You can always go to our website and catch up on any of the past podcast episodes on there, Infotainment.com, under the podcast page. For now, not that one.
Hey, neighbor.
Oh, not that one. How about that one? Oh, not
Hey,
that
neighbor,
one.
what
All
are you
right,
doing?
There we go.
Working on this
I think
Jeep?
I got it. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
You can tell
man.
it's a very professional operation.
There you go. All right. I started the commercial too early. I'm sorry. All right. Infotainment Talk Radio. Well, we're not allowed to have music anymore, so I don't want to mess that up. But go to Infotainment.com, Infotainment Talk Radio. Fill out the product request form if there's something that you want. You can get on all kinds of lists that they have over there for product releases upcoming before the end of the year. All right, now I'm going to play the commercial. See ya.
Hey, neighbor, what are you doing? Working on this Jeep?
Yeah, hey, buddy. Yeah, man. My daughter is old enough to drive now, so what I'm doing is I'm adding this factory touchscreen navigation radio and this backup camera kit so that when she's driving, it'll be as safe as possible.
Oh, wait. So you're changing the radio and you're adding a backup camera?
That's
Don't
right.
you need a dealer for all that?
No, I don't. Nope. I do not. I found this website. It's called Infotainment.com, and they sell factory plug-and-play radio upgrades, touchscreen navigation. Everything is pre-programmed, and it's do-it-yourself.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So what about my 15 Chevy Suburban?
Yeah?
My son, Matt, he's actually only 1 year away from driving.
Right.
And it has navigation, but I wanted to add Apple CarPlay to it.
Okay, yeah, just go to Infotainment.com, enter the year, make, and model, and you find there they have a retrofit kit that will upgrade that Suburban with more current factory gear to add that safety feature of the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto like the newer vehicles have.
Exciting. I'm going to check them out today.
Awesome. Don't forget, tell a friend and give the gift of safety. Infotainment.com.
Infotainment.com.
Infotainment.com.